Well, they did three things that were very important. One, they had backward compatibility, which means if you have your old. Second thing they did was they built a Lego type architecture that says you can tie all these GPUs together. And so it's almost like the thing we learned is this Blackwell platform actually achieves what we call Jensen's law, not Moore's law anymore, the ability to double 1,000 times compute every 8.
Through some synthetic benchmarks, it's the fastest CPU on the planet, has the highest single core score out of any CPU ever. It beats the 14900KS, which runs at 6.2 gigahertz, despite the fact that the M4 runs at 4.4 gigahertz. Apple has done it again, destroyed the competition, made themselves glorious, and created a thing that you want to put into your system. And it's great. 22% faster than the M3 in single core, 25% faster in multi-core, and it has more cores, so it's a big deal. It's got a lot of performance. Look at the Geekbench score. These numbers are obscene. All right, destroys the 14900KS, no problem, single core score. The 14900KS is like 3,300 points. The M800 compared to the 14900KS is 3,300. Destroys. But turns out that a lot of that is because the neural engine that they put into the M4 chip boosted its performance in scalable matrix extensions. One single part of the Geekbench benchmark increased it by 200%. And so that one single boost made it so that it is better than everything else on the market. But if you take that away, this chip is 3% better than the M3. Just 3%. If you take away the scalable matrix, which is exactly what neural processing engines are for, the 14900K service providers cannot prefer any type of data that you're trying to use. So this happened after net neutrality was reinstated, where ISPs couldn't differentiate networking traffic. However, one of the things that was kind of ambiguous was, could they have like fast lanes, right? Like they're not throttling your regular stuff, but they have this like extra level thing. Final legislation about it, and ISPs can't do that anymore. Specifically saying that we clarify that bias, or broadband internet access service providers' decision to speed up on the basis of internet content applications or services would impair or degrade other content applications or services which are not given the same treatment, and so they're not allowed to do that, which makes absolute panel production. They are moving on to OLED and OLED only, with them looking to sell off the last of their Chinese factories that currently make LCD panels. Samsung's already kind of moved on from this. LG is doing the same.
Tech deals on the internet. Happy Friday, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. And hey, look at that, some deals. Starting off today, we have the Beyerdynamic DT770 Pro closed-back studio headphones for only $129 with included promo code, making them $40 off. But then next up, we have this InnoCN 27-inch 1440p 240Hz gaming monitor for only $199.99 with included promo code, making it $70 off. And then lastly, we have the AMD Ryzen 7 7800X 3D going for an unbelievably low price of $320.56, which is the lowest I've ever seen it. And hey, if you want to be processor bros, then you know what to do. And with that, the deals are done. You can find these and more linked in the video description down below. But until next time, I'm gonna hand you off back to Brett for the rest of your hot news.
Coming in black because there was a posted image that had one in black at the back of the area. And so the live stream got delayed by an hour. There were technical issues that happened. And then within that live stream, they didn't talk really anything at all about the physical hardware, and people are just upset with it. The disappointment, the whole thing could have been a Twitter post. This was Panther-like. We're getting some details about the next-gen mobile processors that are supposed to be coming out in 2025, but the big deal here is that not only are the CPUs going to get updated, but reports are indicating that it's actually going to get XE3 graphics, which is the celestial setup that we're looking. Announced that Corsair is looking at buying Fanatec, which is a company that makes sim racing gear, which is all of the GPUs after that, and it's going to be called Rubin, after Vera Rubin, who was a famed astronomer who did a lot of great research on galaxies, and so you can expect a cooler situation, and it's a lot. They're looking at cooling capacity anywhere from 250 watts on the low end all the way up to 600 watts, which is a beefy honking chomper. So it looks like they're going to have a high-powered GPU coming out, but while they are testing cooling capacity for the Founders Editions up to 600 watts, we have seen this before. A lot of people have seen the picture of the 4090 Ti 900 watt. We got Simple Tech over on Floatplane saying, getting older is definitely okay. After 20 years as an IT admin, I'm reinventing myself as a programmer and loving every moment. Each year added to me is just one more year of winning. No matter what happens during that year, +1 is a win. How AI is the new buzzword, but you covered it. You should play that rant whenever someone complains about AI being everywhere. Age saying, so Brett, I get that you were explaining the signs at the end, but then the logo right after actually shows the sign was wrong? Is there some joke going over my heart? Then over on YouTube, we got Wolfie saying, I feel like instead of dancing in circles, Intel should just tell the consumers the way it is, then redeem themselves by releasing something that's competitive. I think people don't want to fall for big marketing selling products. And Paul Anderson said, don't worry, as someone who is familiar with Intel speak, I can translate what Intel is saying perfectly and convey it in very simple terms. What Intel is trying to say is, we are royally screwed. Then Work Warbley saying, I like that. Time for another episode of Hot News and Not Who's. I'm not who's. So my ear said, was that a Nelly reference? I don't like how